Hello and welcome. This is Wilrens for Create the Learning Site, the place to go deeper in your understanding of the Bible. This is the first instance of something new I will do from time to time, share 3 unconnected insights or discoveries that I've gleaned from my journey through Scripture. To be honest, one aim of this is to save a little time. It's not a major topic that requires study and preparation. Discoveries like the ones I present this month tend to come spontaneously while on the journey. That requires less time. The new format also gives me a way to share valuable insights that otherwise have no place. So here we go. The first one is on Jeremiah 51 verse 46. Both end-time angst and dread due to a perceived deterioration of world conditions continues to be widespread. One well-known antidote is the saying of Jesus, "When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. This must take place, but the end is not yet." Mark 13 verse 7. Well, that's good to know. Coming to the end of the book of Jeremiah, I was plodding through 2 very long chapters all about the downfall of Babylon. And there I ran into this statement that struck me at a much deeper level. "Let not your heart faint and be not fearful at the report heard in the land, when a report comes in 1 year, and afterwards a report in another year, and violence is in the land, and ruler is against ruler." The reason this verse struck so much deeper than the familiar one, apart from precisely its unfamiliarity, is the addition of detail and historical depth. Jeremiah reports in some detail on the horrors perpetrated by the Babylonians in Judah and elsewhere. The terrifying instability of the times come vividly into focus in the account of what happens after the capture of Jerusalem, and especially in the murder of Gedaliah in Jeremiah 41. The instability of the approaching end of Babylonian tyranny later is not great either. A century of rumors and reports and events that were, to put it mildly, unsettling. It also struck me because it is exactly what I need to hear. I worry about the condition of the world. From a Western and European perspective, things have taken several turns for the worse in recent years. For one, war in our continent, Europe, is not merely a rumor. In other parts of the world, this is nothing new. Where is this headed? Where are we headed? Easy to get scared, but unnecessary, as Jeremiah points out. The reason? God is at work. All of this leads to something good. It results in the demise of Babylon and the restoration of Judah, which is good news. A few verses later we read 51 verse 48, "Then the heavens and the earth and all that is in them shall sing for joy over Babylon." Number 2, Exodus 38 verse 8. Women in formal ministry. I found this a fascinating mention of women and their involvement. It's part of a long section describing how all the different parts and utensils of the tabernacle were fashioned. And then comes this. "He made the basin of bronze and its stand of bronze from the mirrors of the ministering women who ministered in the entrance of the tent of meeting." Who were these women? Nothing has prepared us for this. No further explanation or instruction concerning such a group or class of ministering women appears here or elsewhere in the Torah. We don't know what exactly they did. All the other tabernacle functionaries, those that are explicitly called and appointed, are male: priests, high priests, then the Levites in various functions. So how did it come to this? I can only guess. Maybe they would not be stopped or excluded and simply took their place, any place near the presence of God, even if it was limited to the threshold of the tent of meeting. Whatever the reason, here they are, and they make a contribution that is duly noted. And then 3, Ephesians 6, Paul's description of the armor of God. A well-known passage, but a closer look at the Greek text quickly reveals unfamiliar details. Things can get lost in translation. That is certainly true here. Now, the following analysis is a bit technical. It uses some grammar, but it has practical implications for how we live life. So here's the grammar. Participles are a verb form that can be used to provide context or background for the main verb. 2 examples: walking around, he healed. And coming to a house, say. Now, you can do that in English, but in Greek you can do a whole lot more with participles in a single sentence. Because of the way Greek grammar works, you can construct complex sentences piling up several participles, and it still makes sense. But such sentences do not translate well into English. Translators therefore tend to simplify things a bit, break up the long sentence to keep the English intelligible. There is a reason to load a sentence with participles in Greek, however. It enables backgrounding. Verb forms that are not a participle, say a present tense or an imperative, are thereby foregrounded and are thus made the focus of the statement. That's what gets lost in translation. So let me give you a summary of Ephesians 6, verse 10 through 18, limiting myself to the verbs and translating them literally. Here it is: be strengthened, put on to be able to stand, take up that you may be able to stand against, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having fastened, having put on, having taken up. Take, praying and keeping alert. In the foreground are the imperatives put on and take up, that are close in meaning. Clearly expressed is their purpose and result, to stand. And this too is foregrounded in Ephesians 6 verse 14 through 16 by 4 participles in the background. But it's also foregrounded because the verb to stand is used 4 times. Unfortunately, this too is partially lost in translation. But it's the real aim of Paul's closing exhortation in Ephesians, that we may stand in the battle raging around us. It would be an overstatement to claim that this is the only thing expected of us, but in this paragraph it is the main thing. It is what matters most. So let's make sure that we continue to stand in His strength freely given.
The show will be starting in just a few moments. Thank you for your patience. The show will be starting in just a few moments.